Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Salary Board for Thursday, October 1st at 10 a.m. It's 10:02, and we're calling the meeting to order. We're going to open it up with any public comments. Would there be any public comments for items that do not appear on today's Salary Board agenda that you'd like to make? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on with the agenda, and we will look for a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting on Thursday, September 24th.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Second, Commissioner. Give it to Steve.
It's been moved by our controller, Jason Moser, and seconded by Commissioner Steve Dersham. Any further discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, the motion is carried. For personnel items, we do have the creation of two temporary full-time COs, and we do have our warden, Chris Shell, with us. So, Chris, we'll turn it over to you.
Good morning, everybody. We're just considering, let me get the right one here. Approval of two temporary, on the right one? Yeah. Two temporary full-time correctional officers for the correctional facility. What's happening right now we've been battling with COVID, but our count today is 206. So our count has increased, but the most important part is the increase of our mental health, our serious mental health illness of our returning citizens, increase of our new commitments on the 14-day quarantines, the mental health concerns that we have, just ensuring the safety and more eyes. We've done more rounds. We've increased our rounds to have more eyes on the returning citizens. There's been an increase in medical codes. With everything encompassed there, the female unit is a unique unit as it is, and in that housing unit we have our general population, our new commitments that are in quarantine 14 days, our suicide precautions, our medical observations, our restrictive housing, disciplinary, also our protective custody, keep separates, and administrative custody, all in one unit. And with the 20-minute rounds and with our search with our out of cell time and so forth, it's really putting a strain on the officers down there with one officer running that entire unit. And I'm asking the Salary Board if we could do requests for two temporary full-time correctional officers, that we could evaluate it bi-monthly to see if things are decreasing at that point. That's the short of the story there, sir.
Okay, thank you, Warden. Any questions from the Salary Board for the Warden on these positions? Okay.
Makes the reasoning make sense.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Warden. We look then for a motion.
Motion to approve the creation of the two temporary full-time corrections officers. The warden made a pretty compelling explanation.
Go ahead, Jay.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded for these positions. Any further discussion on the approval? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Okay, thank you, Warden. Moving on to Salary Board items for the elections. There are two items. The first one is for the creation of 8 temporary part-time satellite voting center workers, and this would be in addition to the 8 we currently have. The second item would be for the creation of a temporary part-time elections and voter registration office intern. For the first item, so both of these items we had contained within the Center for Tech and Civic Life grant. The reason why we would be doing 8 additional temporary, and this is part-time satellite voting center workers, is we did eight essentially full-time last week, and we've had really a good response. A lot of people have come through, and our thinking is that we would like to have hire a little bit more than we would need in case that there was anybody who would be, again, due to COVID-19. Also, we don't really necessarily want to work people 10-hour shifts over 4 days. So this gives us a little bit more flexibility. But again, this would be covered by the Center for Tech and Civic Life grant, It does say on the agenda it is the CARES Act, but that is not the case. We would not be using CARES Act funds for any of the 2020 general election. But essentially, that's the thinking with that. So we have about on the commissioners meeting, we have a number of people who are full time, but some of them are part time. We'd like to be able to slot them into that. And then on the the intern standpoint, there is an individual who is a former poll worker here in Center County who reached out to myself wanting to see if there was any way to help with the elections. And again, we'll get into her specifically on the other side on the commissioner's agenda, but this also was included in the Center for Tech and Civic Life grant. Again, it would not be CARES Act funded, and we can note that when we make the motion. But I'm happy to answer any questions on this, and we'll be providing an update, a more fuller update on the satellite elections office during the elections board meeting later today. But happy to answer any questions.
I guess the only question you said about an intern. What? Maybe I missed the interpretation of that or explanation.
Absolutely, sure. So the position for the intern is essentially somebody who would be coordinating, helping me to coordinate the Bryce Jordan Center, and essentially what they would be doing is they would be looking at scheduling individuals to work there. They'd be working with the Bellefonte students. We have about 40 Bellefonte High School students that will be coming in there. She'll be helping them out with where to come in, where to set up, what precincts they're going to be working at. She's also recruiting on campus the Penn State students for this as well. She's working with the judges of elections there for precinct 24 and 44-2 to get them situated to the layout of the Bryce Jordan Center. And essentially, she would just be the coordinator for that. In addition, she has some graphical art skills, and that was not the focus of the internship, but it's broadened. And she was actually the one who designed the decals that will be going on the drop boxes around the county. And so she has a large skill set. And again, the fact that she was a poll worker was really terrific. So needless to say, that would be what she would be focusing on.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Hearing no other questions, we look then for a motion to approve the creation of 8 temporary part-time satellite voting center workers, and then also the creation of a temporary part-time intern in the elections office.
Motion to approve the creation of the 8 temporary part-time temporary satellite voting center workers and the temporary office intern.
Second.
Okay. Been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion is carried. Okay. Going into facilities management, we do have the approval of the appointment and rate for Joey Spade, and this would be a full-time custodial worker 1 in the facilities management office. And Mr. Schaefer is requesting that Mr. Spade would start at a higher step, and so there would be a salary savings for this position, and so we'd be looking for a motion for the appointment and rate. There'd be a motion at that higher rate.
Motion.
So moved.
Oh, Steve got it. Give it to Steve.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion is carried. Okay. Before adjournment, do we have any other items to come before the salary board at this time? Okay. Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. We are adjourned.